and you're not sack heavy leagues, I think we transition to the linebackers here that we're going to talk about in Roquan, Nick Bolton, and Foye Luakon. Now, of course, TJ Watt kind of moonlights as a linebacker in certain leagues too, but these guys are pure. Stick them in the middle, 100 tackles, giving you some defended passes, interceptions, all that good stuff. I mean, we're really splitting hairs here. I guess we'll start with Foye. Can he do it again? He's been the top IDP guy for 2 years now on 2 different teams. Can he keep it going?
I keep fading him, and he keeps proving me
Oh,
wrong.
same.
Right? Like anyone here at the top of the list, you can't really talk about how great they are because they can't everything can't be that great. Like you got to find something to talk negative about him. But
Right.
he keeps doing it.
Yeah.
The only thing all I'll say from a dynasty perspective, obviously the Jaguars spent a lot of draft capital in Devin Lloyd the
Right.
year before, very much underperformed, but it's still a player on the roster that's there. And then Chad Muma, who I really like, performed very well when Devin Lloyd got hurt. And then when Lloyd got healthy again, Muma and Lloyd, split some sacks. And Foyesay was still number one. And they paid
Yeah.
him just a veritable crap ton of money. So you
Yes.
expect I think he has 2 years left in his contract.
Yes.
I think we can expect similar production for Foyesay for the next 2 years. So yes, I think he could do it again. I think the Jaguars, we talk about this a lot, the offense is going to improve, I think.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting Calvin Ridley back. They put some money in there.
Mm-hmm.
So there'll be fewer opportunities for Foyesay to put up the massive tackle numbers that he has, but he's going to get the play time. He's right there.
Yeah.
I think having him as LB3 is right compared to the other two because Roquan's been doing it for way longer, and he crushed it on the Ravens, and they paid him a bunch of money to still be there.
Yeah.
I guess you can make the argument about Nick Bolton with his breakout year last year, and then signing Drew Tranquil, but he's young, right? He's young, and we're talking
Right.
dynasty here. You made a face with Drew Tranquil.
I sure did.
Yeah, we'll talk about that then. We'll get there. There's enough, and on that roster has Leo Chanel as well.
Yeah.
Go Badgers. So there's maybe enough for me to in a startup draft lean Foyesade over Nick Bolton.
Yeah.
But when you're talking pure dynasty startup, like Bolton's electric, he broke the mold in Kansas City in terms of the overall playing time. That's people faded him last year, and boy were they wrong.
Yeah.
boy were they wrong. So there are some flags there with Foyesade where there's other people on the roster. There's that with Nick Bolton too, which is why I typically avoid drafting those top linebackers when I can.
Yeah.
It's so hard to live up that ADP because I think Bolton last year was going as linebacker 5 or 6. Like it wasn't nearly way up there, and now he's sort of skyrocketed up.
Absolutely.
So all that to say, I think our rankings are right.
Okay.
I'm a little biased. I definitely think it's Smith, Bolton, Foyesade because I'm afraid to say his last name in terms of the top 3 linebackers. But as you've mentioned, you're kind of picking hairs. I think Roquan has the cleanest path there where he played with when he got traded there from the Bears, going with Patrick Queen. We talked about Patrick Queen last time.
Yeah.
Right. Where he was still very, very relevant, but Roquan was still kind of the LB1 there. Mm-hmm. They drafted Trenton Simpson, but they did not pick up Queen's 5th-year option. So we expect Simpson to be the heir apparent to the Queen role and not so much touching Roquan Smith. So I think he's the safest option out there.
Right. And that's what it comes down to, safety, right? So Bolton is the fun, like new kid on the block, young guy. Everyone wants youth in Dynasty. So I get it. Foye just feels like, he's a converted safety, a 5th-round draft pick, and then you've got Roquan, a purebred first-rounder, been doing it since day one. So give me the guy doing it since day one. I like our rankings as well. My mind is flipping a little bit to pop Foye over Bolton.
Sure.
Just as we're talking through here and looking at his stats, like it's just incredible. Jacksonville's going to be,
ridiculous.
Kind of similar to I see Detroit. Like they're going to have a powerful offense, probably in shootouts. Defense is going to be on the field with a lot of key situations. I'm just on the field in general, playing a lot of snaps with a lot of opportunity. But you can say the same thing for Kansas City. Now, Baltimore, kind of might be the opposite. We talked about how like Tremaine Edmonds may have been disappointing because their offense, was so good and the overall defense was so good, they're more blowing people out. Whereas Jacksonville's overall defense isn't that good. So I think there's going to be more opportunity for Foye. Kansas City's tough to evaluate as a defense as a whole. I think like they have really good young pieces in place mixed with some vets, but like they still gave up like a lot of points. I feel like so. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough for me to make a decision based on there. I'm gonna address the Drew Tranquil thing really quick. I don't think he affects anybody. I think he came there. First of all, listen, he took him forever to break out, right? He's been a sleeper for 5 years now or whatever. And finally, yes, he breaks out. I think he goes to Kansas City as more of a depth piece, role player. He wants a ring, probably, which I don't blame him. He's played in that division against them, watching them rack up Super Bowls and AFC championships against the lowly Chargers for however long. Give me both Gay and Chanel over Tranquil in dynasty rankings. In redraft, that remains to be seen with
Sure.
injuries and stuff like that. But I'm still probably betting on both of them over Tranquil and redraft as well. I'm just not a fan. I think it took too long for it to happen, and now he goes to a very muddy situation, and I just don't think he's good enough to break free and earn more snaps than either of those guys. We saw Chanel have some breakout games late in the season, and we saw Gay have a very solid season. Now that and then Tranquil's only on a 1 year, so even if you say they're not bringing back Gay next year, that has nothing to do with Tranquil. Then he's only on a 1 year, so I just feel like people are doing the ultimate. Well, look what he did last year, and thinking it's just gonna apply that to this year. And I'm looking at the talent and the time that it took for him to break out. So I'm just no thank you on a guy like Drew
Oh,
Tranquil.
I'll say this. I'll say this. If the addition of Drew is bumping Nick Bolton down anywhere,
Yeah,
especially redraft or really anything, uh, jump on that. Like I'm looking
yeah,
at all three of these player stats, and we're very much splitting hairs here. Like
yeah,
earnestly, the tiebreaker might just be age for some of these
yeah.
things for these players because they're all playing 98, 99, 100% of
Uh-huh.
snaps all the time. We're talking 180 combined tackles.
Yeah,
Uh, Bolden has fewer big old splash plays than
right.
I had no idea. Roquan Smith had 4.5 combined sacks last year,
Yeah, he that
which
was I think that was mostly in Chicago, but yeah,
no, it was
yeah.
2.5 Chicago, 2 in Baltimore.
Okay,
Uh,
split pretty even then.
so I
All
guess
right.
yeah, I guess you're right. Mostly
Technically.
mostly there. But these guys are studs. If you're willing for your startup dynasty, willing to spend the capital to draft one of them, like
Yeah.
you've got yourself someone that's solid for the next at least 2 years, uh, if not more.
Right. Absolutely. Again, these are studs. We're splitting hairs. Flip a coin. Take the favorite from your favorite team. Take the younger guy. You're gonna get awesome production out of all these guys. So it's there's no right or wrong answer. Having claim over the LB1 is I guess a good pat on the back. I don't know that that's going to win you the league with as close as they are in points per game. So this is where it comes out to the fun factor. Like I said, pick your guy or flip a coin.
Yeah, my ideal spot's probably drafting the third one of them.
Mm,
So whoever wants to get the first
right,
two, whatever order they go, I will take the third and be happy because the drop off, especially if we're going pure linebackers, where the next
right,
linebacker probably in our rankings would be, a Jack Campbell or Quay Walker. The drop off is
right.
fairly steep. So
Yeah.
so go get one of those top three.